great collection of speakers, I think highlighting that one of the most reliable development strategies is always the empowerment of women. I'm Ben Zalisko. I'm from nonprofit CRDF Global that works closely with the U.S. Department of State and a number of government funders to do international development. I run a program called the Sustained Dialogue for Peaceful Uses, which comes out of the Nuclear Nonproliferation Treaty. The NPT has 3 pillars: nonproliferation, disarmament, and peaceful uses. So largely with the IAEA at the fore, the Peaceful Uses Initiative has promoted the peaceful use of nuclear technology so that it is not inherently associated with weapons. And that with a lot of these types of programs, these types of dialogues, one thing that we find is that there isn't a lot of awareness on how nuclear technology can be used, or that in the development community, nuclear technology is inherently seen as suspicious. So the program, the Sustained Dialogue for Peaceful Uses, is funded by the U.S. Department of State as well as the UK government, following a white paper that was signed on by 30 countries to expand the table of conversations about peaceful uses to more than just the typical players, still complementing the work of the IAEA, but acknowledging there are more systemic development issues we need to keep tackling. So, for example, nuclear technology might fail because there isn't awareness of nuclear technology or there's suspicion, but also because there wasn't the financing in place, there wasn't the human capital in place, there wasn't a sustainable project management plan to account for equipment maintenance, or there wasn't proper investigation on the reliability of electricity and networks, or governance models and regulation. So we're trying to build a broad conversation around nuclear technology. To be more specific, in May and June, we're going to be in Jordan talking about water resource management and sustainability in the Middle East and North Africa region. The scientists are using isotopic techniques to measure the age of groundwater and how sustainable it is. Nuclear technology is used to irradiate water and waste streams, monitor waste streams. Obviously, there's a crisis of water management in the MENA region. We're also going to be in Ghana talking about nuclear medicine in West Africa writ large, whether it be radiotherapy, better use of medical imaging technologies. Equipment maintenance is a concern. We want to make sure that we are leveraging IAEA resources as well as we can, understanding that they are great at providing equipment and they are great at providing training. We've talked about blended financing models. Multilateral institutions are an interesting player in this space because a lot of people go to them. They are a convener, a great convener, but they have limitations in their bureaucracy and how they can respond to specific requests and how they can monitor data and needs. So understanding they play a critical role at the table, but they're not the only player. And that blended finance models are certainly a no-brainer, but in practice can be very difficult to arrange. And there has to be a really good awareness on both sides of the private-public partnerships of the limitations of each party and how those can be arranged practically. Then we're also going to be talking about agriculture and food safety and sustainability, starting that conversation in Southeast Asia, the use of radioactivity to irradiate food, the use of E-beams over cobalt-60 techniques, which is much safer and easier on the environment, use of it in pest control to sterilize insects. Much better than using pesticides. There's a wide range of applications, and I'll admit I'm a scientist by training, not a finance guy. Talking about nuclear technology, which is one of many tools in your toolbox, as a distinct set, for me, seems a little odd because it's like saying, well, a Phillips screwdriver is this thing and a flathead screwdriver is another thing, and why would we perceive one as the other? They're all just a set of tools. But I think coming back to awareness of what is possible in this space and promoting it in a larger diplomatic context is valuable. I recollect in our previous conversation with CGHD, there was a poll of folks in Africa that over 50% weren't aware of any of the common types of cancers, and that 70% thought that there was no treatment for types of cancers. And so we're in the dialogue business, but obviously we don't want to stop with dialogue. How can we get the right screening data systems in place? How can we leverage new AI tools across the range of the patient experience? And how can we match up opportunities and challenges in ways that haven't been done in the past? So I really appreciate this conversation here today.